Welcome to a special Booking the Wrestler, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a special one because I'm actually doing two guys at the same time. This will be a three-part series, just like all my other videos, but I'm going to focus on each one individually. It's going to probably be a little more than 8 to 10 minutes long. The third one will be how they interact with each other and then have the actual fight. Bray Wyatt versus Bo Dallas. Let's start with Bray Wyatt because he is the older brother and the more bigger of the two. When it comes to Bray Wyatt, the problem I see with him wasn't that he had a bad character. He had the best character we've seen in years. As I've said before in my previous Debate of the Weeks or my Mixed Bag of Wrestling, which I pretty much put them on hiatus. They're not really doing much. In my previous videos, I always said that Bray Wyatt was so good, but they buried him badly because they fed him to Cena and they gave him terrible, terrible booking. Not that his character was bad. His character has always been very good. Look, it takes 5 tools. 5 to make a wrestler, female or male, get over. You have to have a certain look. In his case, he has the best look you can ever see. He has to have a certain charisma. He's got it. He has to have mic skills. He's got it. His fireflies with their light shining in the darkness, always showing that they're loyal to him. Something you can never usually get. His in-ring work, which is his in-ring presence, has always been good. And telling a story in the ring, being a ring general, being able to lead the other wrestler the way you want them to do the work. Or if you're with another ring general, you basically try to create a story together that is memorable. Now in this case, he has everything we just talked about. But here's the problem. WWE has packaged him perfectly fine, but they booked him beyond terrible. So what I'm going to do here is rebook him. In general, what happened to him for the first 6 to 8 months? His rise was perfectly fine with the Wyatts, with Eric and Luke Harper. So I would not change that. But the way things had gone, where he went through the Usos, where he went through everyone he's been going through. He went through 3D. He went through The Undertaker and Kane. He went through Daniel Bryan and Kane. They went through Kane. That gets wiped out. For the simple reason, including John Cena and Randy Orton, the way that would book them would not be how history has already been written. It is not going to happen that way. So this is how I would do it. The first 9 months goes as history has known it in the WWE. But after that, I would basically tell Luke and Eric, this is Bray Wyatt. And this is one thing I really believe the WWE made a big mistake. They didn't give him more promo time at the very beginning of the show. Always at the 1-hour main event, which worked perfectly. But I would make sure at least once a month he would have Raw in the very opening of the show. Once a month. He would not be seen talking. Other than that, instead of how they do it right now, almost every week they had him talking, he would only talk once a month. Do maybe some interviews twice a month. Now the reason I would do that is because I want him to have a true mystique. And the first, let's see, the person that he would destroy, that would lead him on this path where he would break away from the Wyatts and just be by himself, there's only one person I can really think of that would really make this work. Now I know he has not been built very well, but in general, the one person I would use would be Kane. Now I said earlier that I would not use Kane, but I'm not using Kane in the respect that he was with Daniel Bryan and then The Undertaker, and then to a certain extent by himself. I would use Kane from 2008 or 2009. That attitude of Kane. He's a much younger guy. He didn't talk as much. He was a lot more vicious. This is the Kane I would use. But it would not be Eric and Luke who would be destroying Kane. It would be Bray Wyatt only. Eric and Luke would just carry him out of the ring, and just throw him to the ground. Kind of like what I did with Tamina. Using the Usos to carry out every opponent she ever had once she defeated them. That would be the only time I would use Eric and Luke. When it came to tag teams, Eric and Luke can go and do whatever they want by themselves. Bray Wyatt would not be generally there. It would be very rare he would be there. Maybe once every 3 pay-per-views if Eric and Luke ever have a match on it. So this is what I would do for him. I would make him have as little exposure as possible. Because when you book someone, you have to book them properly. And when it came to Bray Wyatt, they booked him so badly. It was stupid. They overexposed him and then made him do stupid things. So what I would do, I would make sure that he wouldn't talk as much. He would have maybe 1 promo a month in the beginning of Raw. And whenever he had to do a talking, he'd walk away from it and only do a interview talk once every 2 weeks. So it would be special. And it would be short. Not saying he can't talk great. I just make it short and special. He has to be special. And for Kane, I would say Hell in a Cell of 2015. Because we are in 2016 right now. He would have a match with Bray Wyatt in Hell in a Cell. By himself. No Luke. No Eric. No Braun Strowman. No one there. It was only him. And he destroyed Kane. Of 2009 caliber. Now when that happened, and the next Raw came up, and this would be one of those months that he would be allowed to talk by himself, he would go to his 2 disciples, and he would say, "My children, it is time for us to move on." He puts his hands on Eric and Luke and say, "You are my chosen ones. Go and destroy on your own, because I am no longer going to be with you. Go and destroy my children." And you know what he would do after that? He smacked the living shit out of both of them. And pulled them to his face. And pulled them to his head. And said, "I love you. Go. Destroy on your own." And they go off and do what they do. They would never interact again. That would be it for Eric. That would be it for Luke dealing with Bray Wyatt ever. So when it came after that, he would begin to have a progressive rise. He would go through several people that's currently prominent there. He would go through a Sheamus. He would go through easily a Cesaro. As much as I love Cesaro, he would destroy Cesaro. And I'm going to be booking him eventually. He would go through Randy Orton. Yes, he would. He would go through a Batista. Now, I know that's kind of stretching because Batista is not there. But I'm putting him up against people that have been known in the business, who have been loved by people, and that he needed to be destroyed. Well, they needed to be destroyed, not he. They needed to be destroyed. I'm still not feeling well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. But you get my point. I want Bray Wyatt to get a steady progression of more and more important people in the company. Eventually, he would go up against John Cena. Now, I know you're going to say, well, oh, come on, please. No, not the Destroyer of Worlds, John Cena. Well, in this case, he has to. Because in this booking a wrestler, we have to use people that are still in the business right now. And John is there. John is there. And I'm telling you right now, I am rebooking John Cena. Eventually, there's going to be a booking wrestler on John. It is going to happen. I will rebook him. But at this time, the John Cena that we really don't like will be used in this. It will not be Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena. It will not be generic, green, brand new, freshly minted John Cena who just came in 2002. It will be the current version of John Cena 2015. Now, I know you're going to say, you know, that just sounds great, but then it makes you think, I don't want to see them interact. It has to happen. Even John Cena is going to leave that company eventually. He's not going to stay there. He will retire. Either be forcibly retired because he got hurt, or forcibly retired because he got too damn old and got tired of the shit. So I'm going to book John Cena like this. John does what John does. He sees the destroyer of worlds, the eater of worlds, the eater of light itself. And he says, you know, I gotta stop this. We of the Cena Nation does not condone the destruction that you have been doing, Bray Wyatt. I will not let you destroy all of the hearts and souls of all the children I've been protecting. And you know what he would say? He would say, the children you protect, they're not your children. Children all have light and dark in them, and I have the true darkness in me. And I am in each and every one of them. You cannot stop the fireflies in their darkness. And unlike that time when John Cena was in a steel cage with Bray Wyatt, and then this little kid came out of nowhere doing that stupid little bit. No. Would not happen in that respect when it came to John Cena. Using children in that respect will not really work for Bray Wyatt. He wants the substance of children, not the actual physical needs of a child. To be there, he needs the light within him or her. So when it came down to it, I would have the WWE make a special light show that, well, what I would do, I would see if I can get like a group of school kids to be in that area and make it very clear to the teacher and to the students that they would be involved in it. They would be involved in an actual storyline. And this is what I would do. In this respect, when it came to Bray Wyatt would show John Cena, you see those children's right there? There they are, that group of 40 children standing in the ring, near the ring, watching the show. Because this wouldn't be at night. This would be a day. At a pay-per-view. Because they would have a standard match. He said simply, I am the eater of worlds and the eater of darkness. Watch me take the light from those children and leave nothing but darkness. And then it went to a blue light would shine on top of those kids. All of them. And then we would have those kids understand beforehand, when the blue light comes, you act tired and you fall to the floor. Softly, don't hurt yourself. So all of them would fall down at once. John would be terrified. He runs to them all. And they try to make sure the kids understand that they're not supposed to get up. But to make sure also John Cena doesn't come close enough to try and entice the kids to actually stand up. Because come on, they're kids. They're going to be excited being part of a storyline that's going to be seen by millions of people. He has to stay separate from them. So these kids would just act like they collapse. And then a red light would shine into the ring. And lightning bolts would come down back from the Titantron. And that is when Bray Wyatt would absorb the energy of the children. This is about substance, not physical needs. And this is how I would book him. And then finally, Bray Wyatt would face John Cena and just completely destroy him. And that is how I would book Bray Wyatt. And I know you're wondering what's going to happen with him and Undertaker. I'm going to have to do this in the next video because this is already 13 minutes long. I don't want to do it that long. So I hope you like booking the wrestler. Please give me a comment below. The next video is booking the wrestler still. Bray versus Bo Dallas, #2. And I'll be completing this little bit about Bray Wyatt. And that will be it until I do Bo Dallas and then the final confrontation. Have a good day and have a good night.